Hey everyone, I'm here with Pierrick, who is joining me for a new series. It's the first episode in that series where we'll introduce you to some of the members of the team supporting the various Google Ads APIs. So you may know Pierrick from the Optimization and Recommendation Score series if you follow our YouTube channel. And I guess thanks for joining, Pierrick. So you and I are both developer relations engineers. We work on the same product, but a lot of people don't really know what a developer relations engineer is, what we do. As I mentioned, we work on the same product. We started about 3 weeks apart. We have the same title, and yet we're doing tons of different things on a daily basis. So I guess from your perspective, how do you describe what we do as developer relations engineers?
I think that's a really good first question, actually, and pretty complicated. It can be answered in many different ways, but the way I usually say it is we are a bridge, and this bridge is between Google technical teams and actual users. So I guess hopefully watchers here. Our main goal is to have an excellent developer experience, and that means a lot of things needs to be done as on a daily basis. Usually, it's all about technology, outreach, support, and usually education as well, with documentation and these kind of things. I think that, yeah, that represents pretty well our daily job, but maybe you have a different idea on your side.
That's really insightful. Thanks, Pierre, for sharing that. So I guess taking a step back, can you talk a little bit about what led you to become a developer relations engineer at Google and why you were interested in joining the team?
Yeah, I think my journey started almost 10 years ago. So I started as a Java engineer at first and worked for many customers. But then I joined a company where I'd done some technical consulting. Um, and then I became an technical evangelist, which is somehow a bit part of marketing team, right? It's not exactly what we do today as part of Google in our team. Our team is more engineering oriented. So yeah, I mean, I discovered at least developer relations in my previous job, working as a technical evangelist, and then when I joined Google, it was as a developer advocate, which was much more interesting to me. And yeah, I guess I've done that for a few years, as you already said, and having fun with that.
As we kind of fast forward to present day and your current role, what are some of the most interesting things you've worked on in this role?
Yeah, so a lot of things, I guess. But to sum up, I guess we can say that there are a lot of priorities and they change a lot, and I'm pretty sure you know it. So we have a lot of opportunities. Obviously, there are endless opportunities with what we do daily. But today, mostly, we are really interesting. We are really focusing on the migration of Google Ads API, right? And this is true for me as well. I also, on the side, work with internal teams, mostly product teams, so that we can bring great features in our API. So I do that mainly for bidding and optimization score and recommendations. On the side, I also work on the client libraries, especially PHP, and I do a lot of contributions on the public resources we have. So mainly code examples, guides, and this kind of resources.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so I guess you've worked on a lot of interesting things. What are some of your favorite things about being a developer relations engineer?
Um, I think it all comes down to helping people, and people here would be mostly developers, I guess. Um, but the feeling of having someone telling you thank you after you just made their life easier is at least priceless to me. It's just really good after that. So this is definitely one side of it. The second side is, I guess, the product. Google Ads API is pretty complex and interesting. It's continuously evolving, so there are endless challenges and endless opportunities to improve things and to learn. So yeah, I think that's the two main things that I'm really excited about this role.
All right, so I'm going to take a bit of a sidestep now. In the interest of getting helping folks get to know you, what's one thing on your desk that's kind of interesting that says something about you?
On my well, I'm not on a desk right now, but I have coffee on my side if that counts. And well, that's I don't know if you see it, but this is a puffin here. A puffin is from Iceland, so I just traveled from in Iceland, not during the COVID, obviously, but before that. And I guess that shows that I like discovering and traveling. And for the coffee part that is inside, which is decaf, I guess I just show that I'm trying to stay calm sometimes. I don't know, trying to to read between the lines.
That's awesome. So do you travel a lot?
Yeah. I did travel a lot before COVID. Obviously, I'm pretty sure many people just stopped doing that for a while. But I really like traveling. Originally, I'm from France, but I had the opportunity to travel around Europe for a while and in the US extensively as well.
So let's shift to a topic that I'm sure is top of mind for a lot of Google Ads API developers right now: the migration from the legacy AdWords API to the new Google Ads API. So we both know a migration can be a substantial undertaking. Can you talk about some of the work you are doing to make this process easier on developers?
Yeah, I guess that's, as I said, this is one of our main priorities right now. But it's been true for years, I believe. At least when I started, we were already discussing migration. It was 3 years ago, and we never stopped trying to make it easier for users, right? For developers. Um, and our goal is to remove as much friction as possible. So we do that in many different ways. Um, and I guess something that people don't really see is everything that we do behind the scenes. Um, so if I take one example, it would be all the advocacy that we have to do to make sure that we don't put extra load on all developers during this time, because we know obviously that this is a challenging time for them, and it might be costly to do other things as well. Um, we also try to inform as much as possible. So this is what we call the outreach. But basically, the idea is to provide as much information as we can, and also provide some information about the progress of the migration, so that people can understand the timeline and these kind of things. But yeah, something that is, I guess, really used by anyone is all the resources that we provide again. So that will be all these, code examples, literally hundreds of pages of guides, I believe. If someone is interested in videos today, we have tens of them for completely different subjects and different formats. We also hosted multiple workshops during the last few years, and we obviously answer thousands of cases, support cases, each year. So this is, I think this shows all the, I was talking about this little bridge that we have. I think this is all these different bricks that we provide so that the bridge can actually stand. And hopefully today, we are getting really close to an end of this migration, and everyone will be able to focus on a bit more on innovation, which is obviously more exciting than just migrating. So I think this time is really close, and hopefully this will go as planned.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. I'm sure a lot of folks who use the resources that kind of accompany the API, they probably don't even realize all the work that goes into it behind the scenes. So thank you for sharing. And just from your perspective, what is something that you've learned as a result of this migration process?
Yeah, so I need to pick one. No, I don't think it's possible. I mean, obviously, this kind of migration is pretty rare. I mean, even in my experience, I didn't experience these kind of things before, right? So it's not something you can do that often, and even if you do, everything is different. So it's fairly rare. So I'm pretty sure everyone here in the team learned a lot of things from this experience, and made mistakes. Maybe it's totally possible, but something. I think something that we need to acknowledge is that transparency is really key for success for all developers, and also empathy, trying to understand where people are coming from and how they use the, all our tools, all our client libraries, and the APIs. This is definitely key for to understand everything that is going on and how to better help people. And this is true for migration, right? It's true for everything, but migration is even more important, because we are coming from we are talking about two different technologies, two different APIs, and we need to have parity, but at the same time we want to do better with the new one. So all this is mixing together, and there are a lot of things that we can learn from it. Yeah, hopefully that answers a bit the question.
Yeah, I thought that was a great answer. It seems like you learned quite a bit.
Okay, cool.
All right, and finally, let's end on a light note. What is something in the last week that made you smile?
Last week. Well, that was not last week. The first thing that comes to my mind is I am watching the season 1 of MasterChef Australia, and I've seen the 70th, I believe, episode yesterday, and that was the last one. And Julie won, which people don't care, but it's totally random. But it made me smile, because after 70 episodes of it, just happy to see the end of it. And yeah, I mean, the person looked pretty cool. So I'm not sure what she's become, but yeah. Hopefully that answers the question as well. I don't know.
Well, apologies for the spoiler in case anyone's in the middle of MasterChef Australia season 1 right now. So I'm curious, do you like to cook?
Well, you know what? I cook more and more now that I watch this series. Sometimes you will just see something and say, "Hey, you know what? I can actually do it." So the next day you just try it. You just buy the stuff and do it. So yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all I got. Pierrick, thank you so much for joining me and sharing a bit about what you do and your role here at Google. I guess until next time, folks.